before we get into maybe like what are some of the things that we should be doing, either as AI providers or AI consumers, I think we need to differentiate between like AI security and AI safety. I think we've been commingling some of these terms, and there's definitely a lot of commonalities, but I think, at least from my perspective, there are kind of two different things. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, AI security really is all about safeguarding against bad actors. It's about threats. It's about exploitation of AI system. Think of it like things that you might heard of in the industry, like prompt injection attacks that can mess with your data and tamper with the sort of the underlying applications and data sources that the AI system interacts with or interferes with. So it's definitely a huge area. And based on my experience, over 90%, maybe even more, of the focus on AI security is actually, it's about the basics, the foundational security controls that have nothing to do with AI, like data protection, data encryption, data retention, how long you hold on to your data. I saw in the chat, folks were talking about PII and PCI. Do we need to redact PII and PCI? Authorization. How do APIs talk to each other? Can user A access user B's information? That's all through API connectivity. So I think it has less to do with the novel and brand new AI specific threats where a bad actor manipulates the AI prompt to retrieve data for another customer, which is something that it's been super hyped. And folks talk about it a lot. But I think the real problem, the real risk is with the infrastructure and the underlying controls around data security, application security, and infrastructure security. So that's AI security. Now, AI safety is a bit different. It's about making sure that, as we were talking about earlier, as Keith was mentioning about hallucination, for example, it's about making sure that the AI systems stay on task, they operate ethically, they operate accurately. For example, ensuring that they don't produce false information or inappropriate outputs or offensive language, especially with generative agents. So both security and safety are very important. They're essential, obviously, but I think they require slightly different approaches. And this is something maybe you can take back to your risk organizations, to your security organization. So you think of AI security like reinforcing the sort of the outer shell of the AI system, keeping a close watch of what goes in and what comes out of these AI systems. So that protection is key. Basically, treat the input from the customer as entrusted input that they could potentially manipulate the AI system. So make sure you vet it, make sure you sanitize it, make sure that there's no malicious content in the input. And whatever comes out, you also safeguard that, you control that, making sure you put some controls and guardrails around that. And AI safety, again, is more about sort of the ongoing internal maintenance. It involves fine-tuning, calibration, handling intents, context, and managing tasks. So I think it's important to differentiate between these two sort of terms that often get commingled.